Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Vidyarupa Academy. So, in the previous video, we discussed about accounting concepts and conventions. என்னெல்லாம் principles follow பண்ணோம் நம்ம account பண்ணும்போது uniformity இருக்கணும் எல்லாரும் accounting பண்ணும்போது we should follow the same principles and conventions so that there is uniformity and we can compare the books of accounts. So, இப்போ வந்து once we have understood the principles, the next step வந்து understanding the different type of accounts. நம்ம ஒரு entry பண்ணும்போது எப்படி நம்ம enter பண்ணணும். So நம்ம different types of accounts. நம்ம ஒரு business எடுத்தோம்னா capital இருக்கு, expenses, income, okay, assets, liability. இதுதான் main. Capital வந்து ஒரு ப்ரொப்ரைட்டர் இல்ல ஒரு பார்ட்னர் இல்ல ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸ் பிசினஸ்ல இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ற அமௌண்ட் தான் கேபிட்டல். எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ் வந்து நம்ம டே டு டே ரன்னிங் ஆஃப் த பிசினஸுக்கு நம்ம பர்ச்சேசஸ் பண்ணுவோம், வில் மேக் பர்ச்சேசஸ், ரெண்ட் பே பண்ணுவோம், சேலரி பே பண்ணுவோம். இதெல்லாம் டே டு டே ஃபங்க்ஷனிங்க்கு இருக்கிறது. ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ் ஆர் ரெவென்யூ எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ்னு கூட சொல்லலாம். இன்கம் வந்து நம்ம சேல்ஸ்ல இருந்து நமக்கு கிடைக்கிற இன்ஃப்ளோ ஆஃப் கேஷ் தான் இன்கம் ஆர் ரெவென்யூ இன்கம், ரெவென்யூ. நெக்ஸ்ட் அசெட். அசெட் வந்து என்னது? விச் ஆர் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ். இதுவும் அசெட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ அன் எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ். பட் அதோட பெனிஃபிட் நமக்கு ஓவர் அ பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம் we are receiving its benefit over a period of time and it can be used over a period of time. So that is why it is called as an asset. நம்ம ஒரு land வாங்குறோம், building வாங்குறோம், these are all asset. Liability. Liability na என்னது? Liability can be regarded as a payment to be made in future. நம்ம இப்போ பே பண்ணல, பட் நம்ம பே பண்ணணும். ஸோ இட் இஸ் அ லைபிலிட்டி ஃபார் அஸ். இப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரு பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கேன் ஃபார் 10,000 rupees, பட் இஃப் ஐ ஹவ் நாட் பேட் தட் அமௌண்ட், it is payable. At some point of time I have to pay. So it is known as a liability. I am liable to pay that amount. So in the மாதிரி different categories, we can divide our types of accounts. Capital, expense, income. Expense liye nariya irukku, rent, salary, raw material purchase பண்றது, all these are expenses. Assetல நம்ம land வாங்குறோம், building வாங்குறோம், இல்ல somebody has to pay us money. இப்போ ஒரு சேல் பண்ணிருக்கோம், கிரெடிட் சேல் பண்ணிருக்கோம். கிரெடிட் சேல்னா we will not get the money immediately. ஒரு 30 days இல்ல 40 days கிரெடிட் பீரியடுக்கு அப்புறம் they will pay. So அந்த 30 to 40 days he has to pay an amount to us. So he is called as a debtor. Debtor is also an asset. He will pay us that amount in future. So it is a asset. Liability are payments to be made. Loan எடுத்துப்போம். So payments to be made. Creditors. Creditors na யாரு? Creditors for purchases இருக்கும். Purchases நம்ம purchase பண்ணிருக்கோம். இப்போ we have not paid that amount na, we need to pay it in future. So it's a creditor. இது எல்லாமே liability account வரும். So the types of accounts can be divided into three general categories for the purpose of accounting. Nominal account, personal account, and real account. Now, this is the basis of accounting. If you understand the types of account and the accounting equation, you can make any accounting. You can do accounting for any company. Nominal account all our expense and income accounts can be categorized as nominal account. So நம்ம இப்போ பார்த்த different types of accounts நம்ம ஜென்ரலா 3 கேட்டகரியா பிரிக்கிறோம். income and expense account are our nominal account. Nominal account oda ஒரு rule இருக்கு. Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. So any income, that account should be credited. இப்போ நம்ம வந்து sales is an income, so sale வந்து creditல வரும். Purchase is an expense, so purchase account will be debited. This is one rule. Second, personal account. Personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Who is giving money? You credit that person's account. Debit the person's account who is the receiver. Okay, that is personal account. Real account. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So debit what comes in na, இது வந்து real account, asset, cash, bank, இதெல்லாம் we can consider it as real account. So பணம் உள்ள வரும்போது we have to debit. If an asset is being purchased or machinery is coming inside the business, it is coming into the factory, so debit the machinery account. We have purchased land, now land is coming into our business, so debit the land account. We are paying cash or we are paying through bank for the land that we have purchased, for the machinery that we have purchased, credit what goes out, bank. This is how we make journal entries. Journal entries are made based on these rules. So we are categorizing different types of account into 3 categories: nominal, personal and real, and each type of account has a separate rule, and the rule தான் நம்ம apply பண்ணுவோம் when we are recording transactions. Now personal accounts are in the nature of debtor, creditor, any individual, ஒரு person ஓட பேர் இருக்கிற மாதிரி, ஒரு entity ஓட பேர் இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் personal account. It can be a debtor account, creditors, etc. Okay, so debit the receiver, credit the giver is the policy. Debit the receiver, credit the giver is the policy in case of real personal accounts. Now next we come to the accounting equation. Now accounting equation and this broad 3 categories of accounts, it states the same thing. Presentation not different. Okay, இப்போ நம்ம வந்து டெபிட் கிரெடிட் பார்த்தோம். ஒரு டைப் ஆஃப் அக்கவுண்ட்டுக்கும் there is a separate rule. என்ன அக்கவுண்ட்டை எப்போ டெபிட் பண்ணோம், எப்போ கிரெடிட் பண்ணோம். Accounting equation says asset is equal to capital plus liability. Okay, now asset, debit. Now பார்த்தோம் real account. Real account is an asset account. Asset account ஓட rule is debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So all asset accounts will be generally be debited when you need to increase their value, and they will be credited when you need to reduce their value. Capital and liability னு பார்த்ததுனா, you can say they are in the nature of personal accounts. Okay, personal accounts, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Okay, capital and liability works opposite to the asset account. So capital and liability will always have a credit balance. Your asset will always have a debit balance. Okay, so debit is equal to credit. That is double entry system. Yeah, at any point of time, your debit and credit should match. Debit is your asset, capital plus liability is the credit. So capital and liability are always credit balances. If you need to increase your liability, so liability accounts ellame credit balance. So liability account, liability capital always credit. So if you want to increase it, you will credit. If you want to decrease it, you will debit the account. Asset should always have a debit balance. This is a general principle. It should generally have a debit balance. Okay, there are abnormal cases where it can have a credit balance. When we go deep into accounting, you will learn that. So basically, asset should have a debit balance. So asset or value increase பண்ணனும்னா debit, asset or value decrease பண்ணனும்னா credit. Okay, this is the principle. This principle is very important. When we go ahead in the next video, we will be doing journal entries. So journal entries பண்ணும்போது இந்த கான்செப்ட் உங்களுக்கு தரவா இருந்தானா journal entry பண்ண முடியும். So capital increase பண்ணனும், liability increase பண்ணனும்னா அந்த account credit பண்ணனும், capital reduce பண்ணனும் இல்ல liability reduce பண்ணனும்னா அந்த account debit பண்ணனும். Asset increase பண்ணனும்னா we need to debit. Asset will always have a debit balance. So if you want to increase the asset value, you need to debit, and if you want to decrease the asset value, you need to credit. This particular concept is derived from the accounting equation and from the rules, the golden rules of accounting. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Thanks for watching, and in the next video we will see how to make journal entries. So if you want to see our previous videos on accounting principles and concepts, the link is given in the description. You can go through that as well. So thank you and see you in the next video.